stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The kicker, Will Reichard, has the ball on the tee, and we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Jackson, first play, going to throw. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
We'll have to see what kind of looks this defense is going to throw at him as this game moves along, but they're in a zone to start. I do think we'll see plenty of man coverage as we move along, but the first throw of this one, incomplete.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Play action. Now Jackson. He's got a man, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 28 yards there and give them a first down. And on this first drive, looks like they want to get that vertical passing game going early.
And they did, and what a warning shot they just fired. If you're not going to back up and play coverage deep, we're going to attack you all game long. And once you adjust to that and you start to back off, then that opens things up underneath. A really nice start for them. Great way to get the game going.
How about Jonathan Allen there, pushing upfield to make the stop behind the line?
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay. Just a little too lackadaisical, Charles, and they didn't get up and snap the ball in time. Delay of game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he understood where the clock was located. In different stadiums, it's in different places. You have to check that in pregame and make sure you're aware so you don't run into penalties like these.
Second down, they go again with Henry. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
But that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going, crashed down inside, and tackled him for a loss.
The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. Moore, the man in motion. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And right away, he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone. After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson. On the slant, DeAndre Hopkins. And the Ravens are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there, especially when it comes on the heels of a 3-and-out the first time you have the ball. They were determined to not have that happen again, and that's a nice throw for their first down of the game.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Henry. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there. But that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Henry again. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Derrick Henry taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Ravens use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
Did my eyes deceive me, or was that an I formation play that was just run there for a touchdown?
Little old school eye.
How about that? Was that a fullback, tailback, running it into the end zone?
Well, that's what that fullback's for, right? That's why you use that. Let him pave the way.
Oh, without a doubt. He's an extra blocker, and he did his job well on that play.
Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. To the air with McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series, they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
Now, that's how you start to get back in the good graces of your head coach. Remember, he fumbled on the last possession. How about the faith they showed him, giving him the ball again, and he repaid him, picking up a first down.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
And that's how you get back in good graces with your head coach after you fumbled the last time out. He's determined, A, to hold on to the football, and B, to run with purpose and make up for his mistake. That's a heck of a run right there.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. 43 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Again, it's Jones. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. On play action, now McCarthy. His throw incomplete. Trying to find Jordan Addison that time. And it's 3rd and 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
Throwing is McCarthy. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. That is the big fella, Nnamdi Madubuike, forcing his way in. He comes up with a sack.
That I'm struggling to understand a little bit. That close to the goal line, 1st down, run the football. If you want to throw it, throw some play action on 2nd down.
Here's a give to Jones running left. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Aaron Jones taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Vikings are an extra point away from drawing level.
You get in a second and long situation down here in the red zone. I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass. Let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground. And he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
Extra point right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Ravens ready to take over. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they have had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
They snap it at 1. Now it's Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. Jackson to Andrews on that one. First down, Baltimore.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
A quick throw there is incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From the gun, Jackson. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete. There is no denying they want to get him involved. That's already the 5th time that they've looked his way in this first quarter.
So that tells me defensively that they want to insist on going in that direction. Make sure you got your best people in the area to try and take that away.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They go play action now. Jackson. That's complete to his receiver, Bateman. He'll wind up being stopped for no gain, and it'll lead to a 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again. As expected, he's gone to him several times in this game, but that's the first time one has slipped from his grasp. I'll bet he goes back to him, though. He's an excellent player.
An inside give to Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
Tough spot here, 3rd down and 11. On the delay, Jones. And he'll only get this to the 17, well shy of what he needed. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Let's take it at around the 40. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Throwing is Jackson. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 3. They'll bring a tight end in motion right. Running from the gun with Henry. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
And that's a nice pickup of a 1st down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. Flowers going to go in motion right. Now it's Jackson. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. Well, obviously, they never want to see penalties on that defense, but this one a little bit more significant there on the downfield pass play.
And coaches preach it all the time. You can't put yourself in that kind of position if you're the defender. You've got to stay in a spot far downfield where you can play the ball without creating extra contact.
They'll bring a tight end in motion left. Now it's Jackson. On target to his man, Likely. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. From the 4, this is 2nd down and 1. Off the option, here's Henry. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. These two teams all tied after 1. Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. Now Jackson. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Rashad Bateman on the touchdown throw from Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens have taken the lead. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. Moore, the motion man right. And now a fake on the jet sweep and a give to Jones. And that to the 30. It'll be 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. McCarthy operating from the gun. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that'll leave him with a 3rd and 2.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Now they need 2. Here's 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Ravens offense back out there. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. A throw out wide caught by Hopkins. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Second and 6, just inside the 30. Here's Jackson to throw. It's complete. It's Miller. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. The start for them near flawless. Defense gets them a 3 and out. 2 quick pass connections on offense.
So that's how a team works together. Just what you described. Get them the ball, give them a little momentum, and they're capitalizing off of that. Thanks a lot, guys.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Inside handoff, Henry. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. 2nd and 7. They go play action with Jackson. Looking for Bateman. He's got him complete. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Jackson now. A slant route caught by Bateman. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, He often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. He'll find Bateman once more. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
And the throw and the catch were just fine, but against zone coverage when you run a drag route, what you're hoping for is he makes the catch and makes someone miss, and they don't there. Very difficult route to run when everyone has their eyes back towards the quarterback and they're able to see the route develop.
A first down carry for Henry. To the 36-yard line, stop there.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. 10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up third down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. Jackson. That is caught, and he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, they have certainly gotten him involved in this first half, and on third down, they looked his way again. And what a delight for his quarterback to find him and keep the drive moving.
First carry now for Justice Hill. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up second down.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
From the 21, here's second down and 7. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Jackson. They set up the screen for Henry. He's got room to roam, and he's got it all the way down to the 12-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Facing a 2nd and 6 from the 8. On the option right is Jackson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson keeping it himself from 8 yards out. And the Ravens have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Now, this defense, so many things to worry about in the red zone area, but you'd have to almost think that Lamar Jackson running the football, that might be number 1.
It should be number 1, and in this portion of the field where things shrink a little bit because the receivers can't run past anyone because they'll run out of real estate, you should have all eyes on Lamar Jackson when the ball is snapped and try and keep him back in the pocket.
Yeah, I don't think that they were surprised he was running it there. They just couldn't stop him, and he ends up in the end zone. Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. And now out comes Minnesota. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Off the bootleg, here's McCarthy. They've got his man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 25 yards that time.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hawkinson. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Running right, Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. To the air with McCarthy. Looking for Addison again, and he's got him again. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area. And after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
Now a 2nd and 2. Here's McCarthy. Middle of the field to Jefferson. And he's going to be touched down, but he's got the first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. From the shotgun, McCarthy. They shakes him off, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. Now McCarthy. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Throwing is McCarthy. Complete. Jefferson the target. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2. They'll indeed go. Here's McCarthy. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. And the Vikings are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Working out of the gun is McCarthy. And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Vikings get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Well, with this rookie QB, we talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was, and let's face it, you think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He threw that pass with authority, just as you described. Big-time arm right there, and let's face it, a lot of quarterbacks used to be pitchers in baseball. The fastball was usually their best pitch, and we saw it there.
This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. Unable to corral him. He fights through. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Ravens going to get one more drive here in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Play action. It's Jackson. And this is into the hands of Andrews downfield. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This will be spotted at the 37, so it's a 47-yard attempt. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through, and the lead works its way up to 10, 24-14. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal. Not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. And the Vikings going to take over here one more time before the half. 1 second, all that remains. A final shot before break. McCarthy, he's going to look deep for more. And incomplete on the deep ball. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Now the Vikings offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. And Charles, some things to like about that first half. Ultimately trailing here, but certainly this deficit is manageable. So curious to see what adjustments they may have made at intermission.
As am I, because I think things bode well for a possible comeback, because I thought a lot of their best reps in the first half came through the passing game. They were hitting the open receivers, taking whatever the coverage gave them and making it work well for themselves. Now, they just want to pick up the pace of scoring a little bit. So I expect them to come out and continue to throw the ball effectively.
He's already fumbled once in this game, and I thought the ball started to jostle there a little bit, but they got to him quickly at the line of scrimmage.
They sure did. And remember, if you're not a very confident runner and you've already dropped it once, if there's traffic around you, the only thing you think about is protecting the football, not gaining yards.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Looking to throw McCarthy. Flush to his right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Kyle Van Noy in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to fourth down.
I'd say it's not panic time yet, but let's be honest about it. Empty possession here, not what you're looking for when you're down a couple of scores.
Absolutely not. Trying to start the second half off on the right foot. Unfortunately, going to give the ball up. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. The tight end in motion right. He'll start with a give to Henry. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Byron Murphy. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. They'll try and get the running game going with Jones. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Travis Jones makes a tackle. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
He gets it to Addison. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A gain there of 21 yards.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people who have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd. Make it now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied right now by what he's doing. But he's elated because he knows what he's doing is helping his team win the game right now. Making some big-time plays, getting into the offense's backfield and spilling everything.
3 yards on the gain. They're going to need to do better on this next play. It'll be 3rd and 12. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he's going to be taken down here. Get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down.
And that big gain may just change the thought process here on 4th down. I think in the red zone, they might now consider going for it on 4th down.
Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. And his kick is right there. It's good, and this is back down to a 7-point game. Well, the 3 points certainly helps, but you feel like, Charles, at this stage of the game, when you force those turnovers, you need to start converting them into touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised myself because I thought in this situation they were thinking end zone or bust. Now they got to rely on their defense to get the ball back again for another opportunity to get 6 points.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And the Ravens taking the field. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, You're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end, Andrews. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A gain of 32 that time.
I don't care what level of football you played. This one was a universal, wasn't it? When we were kids and we played touch football, remember we get in these positions and you just say, everybody go long, and hope someone would come free.
Now Jackson. Looking for Bateman. He's got him complete. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll bring up second down. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Now it's Jackson. He completes it to Henry. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Jackson will throw again. A short throw caught by Andrews. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be second down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 22. From the gun, it's Jackson. That's out to Hill, right side complete. A loss on that play, and now third down gets tougher, 3rd and 6.
I really like the angles that the tacklers came from on that play. They secured inside, took away the cutback. The sideline's there, so you can only go so far outside, and they were able to close in and tackle him for a loss.
Yeah, they used your boy over there, the 12th man, Sammy Sideline, right?
Sammy Sideline. You know something? He tackles pretty well, too.
He's tougher than an airport steak. Keeps himself upright, eluding the pressure right. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want a drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants a drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Pass complete to Addison. Room past the 35, and all the way up to the 35-yard line. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right. Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here. He finds some way to turn this into positive yardage as he struggles forward for a pickup of about 2.
Well, they always talk about playing great team defense, and that was an excellent example right there. Everyone on assignment, no one in the wrong spot, everyone filling their gaps.
So from the 37, here's 2nd down and 8. McCarthy operating from the gun. Over the middle and complete to Addison. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
And we've seen him have success earlier on with the ball in his hands because he is a get it in space and make a play kind of a receiver. But that time, they closed on him quickly and held him to a short gain.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. Up the middle, Jones. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Kyle Van Noy picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
The lessons will continue, but this rookie, he's got to learn how to read situations just a little bit better. That far behind the line, he's got to find a way to get rid of the football and not take the sack, whether it's with his legs or just throwing it away.
Back to throw. McCarthy. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. The pressure really ratcheting up. They get the sack on 1st down. Then a near sack. They got to him there just as it was leaving his hand.
Yeah, they might need to change their pass protection scheme a little bit. Maybe bring another guy into the backfield to help protect the quarterback, because that was awfully close.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. And he goes out right around the 39. And that's good for a gain of 6. And it'll be 4th down.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, and that was a nice job of improvising, but it's not normal. Usually when the screen pass is taken away, you're taught to just throw the ball at the ground at the feet of the receiver so that you don't get it intercepted and just start over. But he ended up finding another receiver.
It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt. 3-yard return, and out will come the offense as they take over. The offense for the Ravens returns to the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only 1st down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
And this one will go to the 28-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
From the gun, Jackson. Able to locate Andrews here on the out route. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raven 1st down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Ravens in control of the football. They've also got the lead as we get set for the 4th. To throw is Jackson. They set up the screen for Henry. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. An ideal spot here to get a 1st down and try to run some more clock. And this is 2nd and less than a yard. They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Throwing is Jackson. A short one there, caught by Likely. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 38-yard line. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
Here's Jackson to throw. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Same exact result as last play, a pickup of 11.
I like how they worked the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Jackson. A short one there, caught by Likely. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here, back at the 21-yard line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Isaiah Likely from 21 yards away. And the Ravens have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead now up to 14. Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
96 yards for him on the ground now on that, his 20th carry of the ball game.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Here's McCarthy. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Adafe Owe showing off the pass rush skills. It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach, trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I've thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Throwing is McCarthy. Addison hauls it in. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And here's Ryan Wright now as he's on for the 5th time here today. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Well, there are two scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
And that's just an ideal run to start this drive because they're in full ball control mode now, so if you keep ripping off 7, 8, 9 yards of carry, you're going to have a great chance of finishing off this game.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Now it's Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because, to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
Jackson now. Yet again, targeting and finding Mark Andrews. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. He's been a one-man wrecking crew these last couple of plays. This time 18 more and a first down. The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the fourth, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. If they continue to throw these safe passes, who can blame them?
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Jackson. That's complete to his receiver, Bateman. Jackson to Bateman there for the Baltimore first.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Here's Jackson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Javon Hargrave, the D tackle, getting the sack. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
Throw left side complete. That's Flowers. So he stopped for no gain. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd down, Henry. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. So 4th down coming up. John Harbaugh sent on the field goal unit. This to make it a 3-score game late. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So that almost certainly the final piece to this puzzle, a 3-score lead. I don't think there's any coming back from there.
Well, you know, normally I'd get on you for giving up on the game right here, but I do think you're right in this case. This late in the game, 2 scores is tough enough. 3, I'm with you. That seems out of the question.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now out comes Minnesota. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, They've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
From the shotgun, McCarthy. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll bring up a third down.
I like how he hung in there and went through his progressions, but eventually his internal clock went off and told him it was time to make a run for it, and he ends up sliding down with a solid gain.
The Vikings on third down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. Here it's 3rd and 2. He'll drop this underneath for Jones. Yeah, this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there. Kevin O'Connell clearly unhappy with that call, and he's thrown that red challenge flag out on the field. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. To the air with McCarthy. Completes this to Addison out left. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 12 yards there, 1st down Vikings. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Looking to throw McCarthy. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on 1st down to set him back on 2nd. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on the sack.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Travis Jones. That's now back-to-back sacks, and it brings up 4th down.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
That's to his running back, complete. And he's not able to get away. He is stopped well short of a 1st down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Henry will get it. He's been busy today. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line. 52 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Minneapolis, so long, everybody.